crib. It's big. We back and we back. Zeus P, Tank Jew. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't Jew, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late. Coming to you live, putting on for the city. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late. And we back, and we back. Zeus P, Tank Jew. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't Jew, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late. Coming to you live, putting on for the city. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late. And we back, and we back.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Austin? Welcome back to another live edition of the 1-Hour News Break podcast. We are here in Austin, Texas, DAWA Studios. I am Saint, one half of the 2-hour lunch break. I got my co-host,
Trouble Zeus.
and we are thrilled to broadcast live here in East Austin. First and foremost, want to give a special shout out again to DAWA Studios for helping making this live podcast possible. Thanks to them for bringing an amazing experience to you all today.
Hey man, once again, I'm Trotwood Zeus, and for those that are joining us for the first time, the 2-hour lunch break, man, we're all about showcasing incredible black and brown entrepreneurs, artists, et cetera, that are, making some things happen in the city. Our slogan says it all, a podcast for Austin, from Austin. So we are very proud to be a part of this community, but we're switching gears from our usual format, right? So instead of discussing our typical interviews, with whoever we're sitting down with, it's just going to be us, right? Discussing the latest happenings in the city and nationwide. We're going to be diving into current events, various hot takes, and just keeping it real with all of you. So grab your snacks, if comfortable. Let's dive into some good conversation. As always, you can catch all of our episodes on your favorite streaming platforms, and don't forget to connect with us on Instagram at 2HLB Pod and on X at the 2-hour lunch.
Let's get into it.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get started, man. So, glad to be back with my boy, man. How have you been lately, man? I know we were talking off air.
Yeah.
You just came back from a trip.
Yeah, man. Back to work, still smell like a vacation, so I'm feeling good, man.
Yeah.
Got my little tan on, as you said, very, very caramel.
All right, yeah, my boy Caramel in here. Nice complexion. I see you. I see. So where'd y'all end up going?
Man, we went to Playa del Carmen, man. It was actually a beautiful, beautiful resort. Celebrated the honeymoon, me and the wife. So
that's like part 2, ain't it?
Yeah. It wasn't.
Okay.
We didn't get the full experience on the first go around, so we need to double back that. So we did that.
I got you.
Had a
I
blast,
got you,
man.
So
Had a
what was
blast.
wrong? I saw on social media y'all kind of had.
Oh yeah,
y'all had
it was a social media vibes.
What was that looking like?
Social media vibes. But man, yeah, we had our own little swim out, little pool, just kind of chilled, relaxed, vibed out by the sun, man. Just went to a couple events.
Okay.
Kind of they had this almost not like a luau, but almost like a fire show, whatever have you. Did that. They had their own speakeasy in the hotel as well.
Okay.
It was actually really, really dope. So we just chilled out. I would definitely tell you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It did definitely cost some coins, but when you
I
get an
know it.
opportunity, go
run
ahead
up a check.
Go ahead and go ahead and run up that
Yeah,
check for the cost of peace of mind and
Right,
relaxation.
but, I know y'all trying to keep it romantic for the honeymoon.
Oh,
and
of
all
course,
that, you
of
know
course.
What I mean? So I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Yeah.
If I was in that situation, dog,
Absolutely.
it'd be a lot of
Yeah.
it'd be a lot of
Yeah,
stuff happening. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be slinging a lot of meat.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, they called your boy a butcher. Like,
Yeah,
it's a delicatessen.
Nah.
On vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So,
like,
you know.
diabolical. Yeah.
Right. So, man, I'm glad y'all had a good time, man.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
so I know y'all fresh back, just got in town yesterday.
Yep.
So yeah, I know for me, bro, it wasn't as eventful as y'all.
No,
it wasn't no
still
vacation.
Dope. Still dope.
But we so my family, we actually did our yearly Memorial Weekend barbecue, right? And so we do it in memory of my granddad, who was in the Air Force, stationed at Bergstrom when Bergstrom was not an airport, when it was an Air Force base. He's actually the reason my mom's family is in Austin.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, we do it every year. Had all the family pull up. Had my babies with me. My wife was there. It was an amazing time. Just got a chance to kick back with the family, man. Drink, eat, all that good stuff. So I enjoyed it. Besides it being 1,000,000 degrees.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And getting ate up by the mosquitoes.
Bro, 92. I think yesterday was 92 degrees with 84% humidity. Brother,
buddy.
like you inhale and it's hot. Like
Damn.
that's
I walk out of the house and my glasses fall down.
yeah, right.
Like it's crazy,
it's
bro.
Nuts.
Yeah, man.
Bro.
Yeah, man. So, now that we, got the personal stuff out of the way, man, let's talk about what's going on in the city.
Let's dive right in. Let's go for it.
So, starting out.
Yeah.
City of Austin officially apparently has been ranked 5th among the top 10 cities of people that are leaving their city, that are moving on to other cities, right? So this was a survey done by Pods. And I don't know if you've heard of Pods. Pods is like it's a moving and storage company. They do like the portable containers. So they're, they take a big part in a lot of, people move from city to city.
Yeah.
So they ranked Austin 5th in the top 10 locations of people that are leaving. A big part of that was like, starting in 2020, there was the advent of remote work.
Right.
And Austin's housing market at the time and relatively low cost of living compared to like major cities like, New York, LA, it brought a lot of people to the city. Anybody knows that if you've been here for some years, Austin has been growing like crazy. But, because of that, when people got here, the demand of housing rose.
Yeah, of course.
I think it went up like 60% from 2020 to 2022, which is
That's a crazy number, bro.
insane. You know what I mean?
Crazy number.
So I think a combination of that, along with like we were talking about the housing market. I think the total, what you said, 60%. Is really driving people out of the city.
Yeah.
It's driving people to a lot of areas like like the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Charlotte and I think it was like Spartanville, South Carolina.
Right.
Raleigh, North Carolina, and Phoenix is driving people out of the city to those areas, man. So I know you've been in the city for 2+ decades. You got a chance to see a lot of that growth, and a lot of the reasons that growth is slowing down. What are you thinking about that?
I mean, I think it's a very interesting point, especially because just doing the research and kind of reading up on this particular event. I mean, realistically, we talked about this offline, right? Like the fact that it's probably going to be a challenge for individuals like yourself to acquire, your family home. And not in the context of I ain't got the money for it, but in the context of like the interest rates are just so skyrocket right now. Like,
crazy.
The extra add-ons is just ridiculous, right? But plus, I think the other frustrating aspect is like this is causing our people, you know what I'm saying, black and brown, to not just even move out the city, but just basically be like, yo, I am out of here.
Bruh, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I get it. I think it's very frustrating. I think it's very hard and difficult and challenging. And for those people who really love Austin for what it is, and, are just kind of tired of renting, they want some more space. They want to be in their space.
Yeah.
I think one frustration that my wife and I have is like, we have our current space and we like, yo, we're paying as much as a mortgage right now. But it's kind of figuring out the dynamic of, is it worth it? Is it beneficial? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to help the whole family dynamic? Those are the things that you have to take in consideration. And when you do quantify that as a family, you got to say to yourself, hey, I can get more bang for my buck if I dip up out of Austin.
Right.
And I know you know this as well as anybody else that's watching
bro.
right now. These cell phones listen. These cell phones listen. So if you start looking at houses and things that you really, really want, right?
Them ads gonna pop up.
Them ads gonna pop up,
I
and
know
they
it.
gonna be in Midland, Texas.
Yeah.
for, for
West
$250,000,
Texas, in
right?
the valley
And it's gonna be the best house you've seen in your life,
bruh.
and it's 500 miles from civilization.
Yeah.
But you go get your dumb ass over there in Midland. Go
right,
ahead.
yeah. Bro. So like, dog, like a big thing for me, bro. Like, so of course, you know, I'm from Austin, born and raised,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
I think the only time I had left was to go to school. Like, I went to college, and then after college, I came back after a year.
Yeah.
And bro, like, it's the housing market is insane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, of course, my mom is from Austin. She grew up on the east side, right? And a big thing is, like, when I had first gotten back home, I wanted to get a house on the east side, right? Like, that's where my family's from.
Like, let's
I'm
do
like,
it.
right. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm a young black dude. I'm coming back to the city.
Right.
Like, let me move to where, you know, my roots are at.
Right.
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 And bro, like, I can't even and I ain't even broke. Like, I make decent money.
Yeah.
My wife makes decent money.
Yeah.
Like, we not out here down bad.
Yeah.
And like, the thing is, bro, I cannot afford the house that my mama grew up in.
See?
Like, on the east side. And she
Yeah.
grew up in like a little, little 2-bedroom.
Right.
Little 2-bedroom. I think it was like 2-bed, 1 bath.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But
I
they-
cannot afford that.
But they going
house
for like
now.
800, 900,
Yeah,
close to
bro, it's crazy. So literally, like, things like that is driving people out of the city. So because the costs are so high, we had to move way to like North Wilco just to be able to afford something that's livable and that we have a decent enough room for our kids to be able to move around,
Right.
and all this other stuff. But like, trying to like live and sustain in the city is gotten so ridiculous that I can honestly see why people are leaving. Like, there's like, what's the pull? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of, like, not even just the housing market. A lot of these tech companies are like, going belly up.
Oh, yeah.
We had just talked about it a couple weeks ago. I think like Indeed was dropping off the map.
Right.
Just, and that's just one company, but it's a lot of different factors where people aren't seeing that need. Like, hey, I'm gonna live in Austin and struggle.
Right.
You know what I mean? When I can go to Phoenix,
Right.
and be cool,
And thrive, yeah.
I can go to Charlotte and be cool,
Right.
Austin doesn't have that same allure. It had that like 15 years ago.
Right, exactly.
Like 15 years ago? Oh man,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
09?
Yeah, it was up.
Yeah, come
It was
on.
up.
Yeah, but let's
It was
pull
up.
up to Austin.
It was up.
You know, but now, because I think we're basically at the end, because it was a big wave, right? We're at the end of that wave. These people are here now, and it's like we're overcrowded, and there is no housing market to compensate such large growth. So the demand is driving those prices sky high, and we just can't handle it. Like, it has to be a ton of housing, a ton of additional housing has to be built.
Yeah.
To be able to accommodate that.
Yeah.
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? That's one of the
And not even just a ton of housing, just a ton of affordable housing, right? Because
too.
like we just talked about, I mean, and shout out to one of the alums of the show, Kevin Dibia, aka Realtor Bay.
right,
who was
Realtor
great.
Bay. Shout out Realtor Bay.
who came through and dropped some gems. But even like buying a house, right? Like, they talk about some things that we talk about the incentives that you get, right? But the only reason why you get the incentives is if you use a specific lender that they have. They don't talk about the earnest money that you got to drop. So what are we saying? Sometimes $5,000, $10,000, maybe $20,000 off the bumper, right? So these are some of the things that are essential. Plus, if you don't get the incentives, then not only just the earnest money that you got to pay, you got to pay the down payment too. So sometimes some people are dropping 30, 40, maybe even 50,000 just to get into a home, and then they like, okay, cool, bet. Now you got another 600,000 that you on top of. Go ahead and pay that off for us.
Ridiculous.
Right? It's like
Ridiculous.
you just, man, it's just hurtful, man. So I feel your pain, bro. Like, it's definitely going to be challenging for a lot of Austinites here in the city.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely going to be challenging for anyone coming to and saying, oh, I love Austin, I went to South by, or we just hung out one weekend and we found it beautiful. I think it's going to be a challenge for anyone to find the housing market. But of course, there's going to be some gems. And I think there's a capability to do so. You just gotta be patient with it.
Yeah. So what I will say is I do think the city of Austin as an institution, I do think it has a lot of power in this, right? Because I know there are a lot of cities that subsidize housing. There's a lot of rent control in some other cities. I think something like that can be instituted. Because the thing is with everything that's happening with the housing market, jobs dropping, all that stuff, it's like what's gonna happen to Austin's middle and working class, right? You can no longer afford to live in the city. You're being pushed out to Pflugerville or Hutto or Georgetown or where we're at, right? And what does Austin become? Like, does Austin become, the millionaires' playground? You know what I mean?
Very good
like,
question.
you got, these people building these ergonomic houses on the east side where your grandmama used to stay. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And nobody can afford to pay like the rising taxes and all that stuff, man. So it's like, what can the city of Austin do to curtail what we're seeing tangibly? Because we're seeing the change. You know what I mean? We saw what Austin used to look like in 09 versus now, right? We're seeing who's moving into that housing versus who was there before.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I do think the city of Austin has a lot of power, a lot of things they can do to, at least slow it down.
Yeah, right.
Something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we gotta tighten up. I know, we're really big on calling out the government and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's one of our things. What we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think there's a lot of things that could be done to slow this down. Keep the city for who's from the city or who has really planted roots in the city.
Right.
And yeah, man, you got to make room for the working class, bro.
Nah, I agree, man. And I think you mentioned it on the last episode that you got to get in contact with your local reps, right? You got to get in contact with those House and representatives and all those people and basically let them know, hey, look, this thing is going crazy. I need you guys to fix this, right? So I think that rather than being in the rat race, make them work for you.
Yeah, man. Holla at your local politicians. You
know
know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
And speaking of local politicians, right? I like that segue. Right. Speaking of local politicians, we have in Texas, there's apparently been the most expensive House race in Texas history.
Really?
Is occurring as we speak. Right.
Okay.
There is voters in several parts of Texas were facing crucial decisions when it comes to primary runoff elections happening today, Tuesday. So there are no statewide races in the runoff. But the decisions by voters in a few Texas House districts could have a big impact across the state. Okay. Right? So there's a runoff, right? So, for instance, there's a runoff happening in District 21, which is in southeast Texas near the Louisiana state line. This is between House Speaker Dade, my bad, I said Dave. Dade Phelan and his challenger David Covey. Right, so this is on the conservative side. So if we're gonna keep it a buck, this probably ain't got nothing to do with us. we just gonna be real. This probably ain't got nothing to do with us. Right, so Phelan and Covey are conservatives, but they represent two different sides of that political coin. Right, so I think Phelan I think he found himself like under attack from his own party. Okay. Right after the House voted to impeach Ken Paxton.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They did.
So Covey pushed Phelan into a runoff after the March primary elections, and part of that push is from other conservatives who aim to reshape the Texas House. Right. So it's a shift happening that mirrors what's happening in GOP nationally. Right. We're talking about like the business-minded establishment faces increasing challenges for the more like Trumpy style Republicans, which is motivated by more conservative social issues. We're not really gonna
we don't have to dive
too much into that. But if you're if you have any political awareness, you know what that's in reference to. So I was gonna say, bro. So I think this has been an interesting pattern over like, you know, the last couple of years or so, as, you know, the Texas Republican Party tries to figure out, you know, what type of conservatism that it wants to espouse, right? Are we talking about our fiscal conservatives?
Right.
Or are we talking about our Trump styles conservatives? Right? So because of this race, this has been like the most, like you said, this is the most expensive state house race in Texas history. I think there's like $7 million spent.
$7 million
total, which is insane for a house race. It's crazy, bro. So, with all that said, right?
$7 million, huh?
I know we not necessarily on that side of the political fence.
Yeah.
Right? But where do you think? What choice do you think better serves them?
I'm just still stuck on the $7 million. Dog.
That's a bag, bro. I can. Yeah,
that could be used so much better.
It could. You're right.
I think that's. I mean, honestly, like this is kind of crazy in my eyes. As you already know, like politics, we really don't kind of chime in on that perspective. We want everyone to make their own personal research and make their own decisions in that regard. But I think, realistically, you know, this should not be something that's highlighted as newsworthy, right? We should not be talking about this right after we talked about the issue with housing in the city of Austin.
You're right.
Right?
You're
so,
right.
I mean, man, I really wish that most of our politicians and our representatives focus on us, right? Focus on what's important, what we need in order to thrive and survive. And again, ain't nobody come. Well, I'm a firm believer. Ain't nobody coming to save me, right?
Bingo.
But I'm just saying, like, if you want my vote, show me that you're focused on, you know, the needs of the people,
right?
Rather than personal needs, bro.
I'm right there with you, bro. And we actually talked about this because I know we discussed a lot of the upcoming elections, like the local Texas elections that were coming up, and we talked about this before. I remember a big thing about it, and I know we had actually posted about this.
Yeah.
For me, I don't care. I don't care about like the big flashy campaigns.
Right.
I don't care about like the wild and crazy, you know, conspiracy theories and you know, all this other stuff. I don't care who's the best looking or who's the most articulate.
Boys pulling up in Circus Olay.
Right, yeah. No, like you gotta spend like $7 million is crazy.
Right.
Right. So at the end of the day, what's most important is how do you serve your local constituency? Now, I don't know the local politics of District 21. I don't really have any ties to Southeast Texas, Louisiana border. I drive through there. I don't go through there. You know what I mean? But I don't see how $7 million, I don't see how that could be effectively spent on campaigning.
Right.
I feel like that amount of funds, right? $7 million, and that carries a lot of weight in that area of the state because the cost of living ain't the highest.
Yeah, correct.
You can do so much with that money.
So much more.
Like so much money with so much with that money. If anything, rather than, you know, doing some goofy ass campaign, bro, like serve your community, bro. Like, you know, like
we just talked about the teachers, right? Like
Right.
helping support them in some kind of way, shape, form, and fashion. Look, I understand that you guys got to market to your people, and that's totally, completely understandable. But I think the more heartfelt thing that you can do to help support your people will go further, right? Will go beyond, right? Because people are looking when they're not looking, right?
Yeah.
People are paying attention when no one thinks they are. Yeah. And I think the most important and the biggest thing that these individuals could have done and can continue to do is help support the community, whether it be a back to school drive, a summer camp, something. Right. These dollars can be reallocated in some way, shape, form, or fashion to help the local community thrive in a better way, rather than marketing dollars and ad campaigns, or you know. And we already know that might be some kickback too.
Yeah.
So let's not even again. We not gonna go. We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there. That's crazy.
Now, don't get me wrong, right? I could appreciate a lovely salary.
Yeah, of course.
$7 million.
Respect.
You know what I mean?
If you put the work in, absolutely.
Once you you know, get your salary, you know, you take care of yourself. What can you do with what's left over?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Just like you were saying, I mean, there can be food drives that can be done. There can be I mean, hell, even something as small as like a back to school backpack giveaway,
Right.
or something like that, rather than
Because there's a signature school out there, guaranteed, right?
Right.
So you
Right.
know, why not help that local school get a little bit more, upgrade that school? Most of
Right.
our schools are, as far as electronics are concerned, they might be outdated, maybe 3 to 5 years. So
Yeah.
upgrade their IT services or something like that. Just the little things that can help, and
Right.
maybe even an online platform or portal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All these things that can help that community, and it's just that little pour in that shows you, hey, we'll focus on making this life better for you all. Like and that should be what every politician's viewpoint and perspective is.
Right.
You know, your life is not your own.
So I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna hoard that money, dog.
Oh, bro, come on.
They're gonna hoard that money.
Come
bro.
on, bro.
If anything, like just like we were saying, bro, like the cost of living in that area ain't high.
At all.
You know what I mean? Repurpose that, shift that over to the community. There's things you can contribute to your local community, because you know a big thing in that area. It's a lot of income inequality, dog. Like I don't know if you ever been through there, bro. It get rough.
Well, yeah. So yeah, once or twice. But again, I drive through there.
That's what I'm saying. So, you know, with that said, like it's visible. Like you drive through there, you can see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, why not repurpose that and see what positives you can bring to the community, rather than, because like I said, bro, they're gonna hoard that money. Once that campaign is over, I guarantee you there's gonna be money left over, and they're just gonna sit on it and not do anything that could help the local community with that funding.
No, you're right. I mean,
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
there's so many projects and initiatives that they can do. I mean, case in point, have you heard of the Rainy Street Trailhead project?
Yes, I have.
Okay, see, yeah. So it's a new project in the space set to come to a trail in Rainy Street this summer. The trail is a nonprofit dedicated to enhancing and protecting Austin trails. They broke ground in Rainy Street Trailhead in September, and the brainstorming started for the project began in like 2019. So Rainy Street safety changes set to finish this summer, and so this is kind of what the project is about. Where are we? So I guess the major question is, where are we now, right?
Right.
It starts off and sets at the end of Rainy Street between Cumming Street and East Avenue, and the park features incredible seating areas, natural play areas for kids, native plants, and floating docks, right? Because everybody loves the river.
Right.
So the park should open mid-July. So midsummer, dead summer, great opportunity for this park, an opportunity to thrive. How do you feel about that as a Austin native?
I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro.
Yeah.
I love it. I feel like a lot of projects that happen like this all over town. If anything, I feel like this should have happened 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Like before the bars, before all that stuff,
No,
before
for
the
real.
high rises.
For real.
Like, cause the thing about Rainy Street, I don't know if people know, like Rainy Street used to be like a majority Mexican American neighborhood at a point in time. It was like tucked away, like nobody really knew about it unless you were like in the downtown area. But Rainy Street has been historically Latin American for probably a century at this point,
Right.
prior to all the gentrification that happened.
Right.
So I think it would have been amazing had they built this in like 2000. They could have served a bunch of little brown children.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, for real.
Like, I feel like that would have been
For real.
amazing. I'm happy they're doing it now.
Right, exactly.
But that would have been amazing to see a bunch of like little brown kids, man, enjoying green spaces, and and all the benefits that can come along with that.
Yeah, no, I think this is just an amazing project because again, we talked about real dollars going into the community, helping the community thrive. Now, granted, do I feel it's a little late? I will agree with that. However, I think it's an amazing thing to, especially if anyone has visited Austin, gone down to Rainy Street, or just you are a frequent flyer of Rainy, right? There's great bars down there. There's an amazing high rise over there. So to see that trail, you're gonna that's gonna just add more value, right? Add more appreciation to what is down there and the overall aesthetic to the city of Austin.
Bro, I was gonna say, I mean, in addition to that, I mean, it could also make that area safer.
Oh yeah,
You know
by
what I
far,
mean?
right?
Because I know if anybody's read the news about raining, you know, between the conditions of drunk people near water,
yeah. It gets a
there
little
be stuff happening over there.
Yeah, it
That's
gets a little
all I'm gonna
sticky.
say.
Gets a little
Right?
sticky. Yeah.
So I think if you have, it's essentially, I wouldn't call it like a barrier.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's something there to deter,
Right.
like, you know, people.
Like,
you know,
I'm
getting
at the
drunk and
park.
stumbling.
Let me.
I'd rather them go swing on some swings at
Oh,
that
no,
playground rather
1000.
than jumping in the town lake.
Bro,
You know what I mean? And popping up on the news the next morning. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's an additional benefit that I'm sure nobody's, you know, thought about.
Right.
And also, bro, like I know you said that they were gonna have a floating dock there too. So, you know, there's a possibility of people recreationally fishing.
Right.
Now,
Right.
but I will say, I'm not eating no fish that come out of town lake.
No, not at all.
But you know,
fishing is peaceful though.
right? Yeah, if I want to kill some time and get out on the water, you know, I fish a little bit on the dock, watch the people, you know, on their rowboats go by, all that stuff. You know, that's
Sitting
an
on the
additional
dock of the
activity.
bay, headache.
Right? Yeah. That's an additional activity for free that you know that could happen over there. You know, so I think the benefits are amazing. I don't really see any cons to that. I know what you said it was September. So I'm ready for them. They broke ground in September.
They'll be ready in July. Yep.
Right.
July.
So I'm ready for the summertime, man. I mean, I think with the fact that it's centrally located is also a positive too. Just like we were saying before, man, this type of funding can serve, you know, the local community, right? It can do nothing but benefit the local community. It can give something for the people in that area, something to do for free, right? Because the thing is, you know, Austin is such an expensive city. You gotta have free open spaces for people to do something.
Right.
Like I don't want to have to, you know, I walk out of my door and I gotta spend $50 to go do something at the block. You know what I mean? On a nice day, I want to be able to take my kids to the park. I want to be able to hang out. If I want to walk my dog, or something like that. Now, with spaces like this, that's easier to do, and you're not constricted to only so much green space in a densely populated area.
Yeah, very densely.
Yeah, right. So I love it. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I feel like there needs to be more of that. I feel like we need as much green space in the city as we can get. And yeah, man, see, like we were talking about, man, pressing politicians, man, stuff like this happens.
Yeah,
you know?
get them people out there because you know we got kids, man. I want them to stretch their legs, go play sports, have a good time, be outside, sweat a little bit, and get off them screens.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I almost cussed on here, bro. For real.
Get off them screens and
get off them
screens,
please.
Know what I'm saying? Drink water from the hose, okay?
Yeah.
You know, outside.
Not town lake.
Not town lake though.
Don't do
town lake.
You end up like you was in Mexico that last time. Boy.
That's for another story, bro. Yeah, right. It's gonna go crazy,
down
man.
bad.
It's gonna go crazy, man. So what else happened, man?
Oh man. I'm pointing at the wrong camera.
Yeah.
So UT Sports. I know we've been keeping track of the UT softball team.
Yeah.
Number one team.
They did it.
They just beat Texas A&M.
They did it.
Right.
They
so
did it.
they are now officially they made it out of the regional bracket. They're now in the College World Series for softball.
You
right?
call it.
So
I feel like you're calling this,
I
bro.
was like, get the Maggies out of here.
Yeah. I feel like you're calling this.
So shout out to the Longhorns. It was like last second. It came down to the final at bat. They beat A&M 6-5. This was actually a hometown when they played at McCombs Field on the east side.
Nice.
There's a three-run homer, and then they did one more run to take the lead and wrap up the game and get to the College World Series. So as of now, Texas is 52-8.
52.
So dominant, right? So now they're prepping for their 7th appearance in the Women's College World Series. I think this is their second under their current coach,
Coach White.
So 2 years ago, they actually had reached the College World Series before falling to rival Oklahoma. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do now. I know next up they have Stanford.
Okay.
They have Stanford.
That's gonna be a
Stanford's
good
pretty
game.
solid.
That's gonna be a good
Stanford
game.
beat LSU. They actually shut out LSU.
Oh, word.
8-0
Yeah.
to make it to the College World Series as well. So what are you thinking about it, man? I know we've been talking about this story for the last few weeks, man.
Yeah,
What you think Texas is gonna do?
You know what? I'm scared to actually predict it because you've been calling it. You've been calling it like
hey,
that.
man,
He like, yo, we gonna
I'm
get
trying to
we
bat
gonna-
1,000.
Northwestern, get out of here.
Right.
Aggies,
Right.
get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but Stanford is a solid team. I definitely, when I get an opportunity to watch sports, I definitely focus on softball and baseball as well. I do know that, and LSU is a solid team. So to hear they dusted them 8-0,
Yeah.
like that's interesting. So I'm excited to see what the game is gonna be. What do you, since you've got the master prediction, what do you think is gonna happen?
I think Texas is going to be Stanford.
Texas is gonna be Stanford.
What I will say is I don't think it's going to be as close as the A&M game.
Okay.
Because I feel like when Texas and A&M play, I feel like you can throw the records out the window.
Yeah.
Right? Like it doesn't matter the sport.
Yeah. They just
It's
it's
just
just all the rivalry.
is
Yeah.
that bitter, dog.
Right,
like,
right.
You know,
Right.
like they on both sides,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
like they both fight tooth and nail to beat the other team. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's gonna be like, you know, super white knuckle, you know, type of game. I feel like Texas has the talent to beat Stanford soundly.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, don't get me wrong, just like we were saying, Stanford's solid.
Yeah.
But I don't think they don't have the talent player for player
I got you.
that matches up
I got you.
with Texas, because Texas, man, they got some
Yeah, no, it's some
they got some
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah. They've
you
been
know
doing
what I mean?
They've been doing
So yeah, man,
They've been
I don't really see there's not a match in talent. The only way that they could beat them is Stanford's coach just pulls out some kind of crazy something. I don't know, dog. But like just person for person though,
Yeah.
Stanford can't hang with Texas.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep it a buck. So I've been predicting.
Yeah, put your
Texas
money
so far.
Put your money on
I've
his
been batting
bets.
1,000 on Texas softball, man. So I'm gonna go with them beating Stanford.
Okay.
They're playing Thursday.
Thursday.
Check the game out Thursday. I'm trying to keep batting 1,000, man. Texas women's softball, man. Y'all keep me batting 1,000. Get what are they? Cardinals?
Yeah, Cardinals.
Get the Cardinals up
Yeah.
out of there.
He said
You
they
know
gotta
what I
go.
mean? Yeah, man. Yeah, they done for. You know what I mean? Let's get to it, and then let's get to this next round, man, and get this national championship, man.
Yeah,
so
that
shout out to the Texas Longhorns.
Man,
softball
that would be
team.
big that they bring that to Austin, man.
Yes.
Especially, you know, all these programs, all these school programs are just phenomenal. And we already know, you know, Texas, the University of Texas at Austin is well trenched within this wonderful city. And I think this would be, you know, just the icing on the cake for them to bring this home. So I'm really excited to see this. I'm really excited to see this.
Yep. Man, so I was gonna say, bro. So I know we talked about, you know, Texas, man. Let's go and move on, since I know we're talking about education.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Austin ISD.
Yeah.
Right. So officially, Austin ISD has begun construction on major projects on a middle school and 4 elementary schools. Says so far in May, Austin has held 5 groundbreaking and construction kickoff ceremonies related to 2022 bond projects.
Okay.
The district says it plans to work on a few different schools, a couple that are partial to my heart because I have family members that are going there. Williams Elementary, Cook, shout out 5'8". Wooten, shout out 5'8". Harris Elementary, and Sadler Means Young Women's Leadership Academy.
Nice.
So these schools are all throughout the city, mainly on the north side. Shout out to the north side. The projects were funded through the district's $2.4 billion program with aims to improve safety and security, upgrade technology, and make repairs to building systems and enhance athletic fields at high schools as well, along with modernizing basically a majority of the campuses throughout the district. I think there are 4 additional modernizations are expected to break ground in the fall.
Okay.
That we don't know right now,
Right.
but apparently there's going to be some additional stuff on top of that.
Right.
So I think by modernizing these schools, bro,
Yeah.
they're making a tremendous impact on the learning environment, and improving the experience for Austin students, for generations.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, bro. So I know earlier we were talking about funding and how big of an impact that can make on a local community. Man, what do you think a bond, like a project like that, this is $2.44 billion.
Yeah, no, that's money.
What do you think like funding like that can do for the district? Because AISD has been taking some hits.
No, yeah.
Recently.
Because I want to say a couple years ago, some of the schools shut down, right? Some of
there was some talks.
Yeah, there was some talks about
and
it.
I know
right?
a couple elementary schools consolidated because there was a lack of students to serve and stuff like that, and
enrollment and all that other stuff. So I think this is a reset button. They hit the reset button, right? And it's refreshing to know that they had a plan in the back end.
Right.
So I think I'm excited to see what transpires there. And of course, since every campus will be unique and designed by and for the communities that they serve, I think it's just that the hands-on involvement is really, really going to be amazing feat to see and experience. Plus, I think that also, seeing projects like this is what we've been talking about, right?
Right. Yeah.
Development, redevelopment, reinvesting into your people, the community itself at large, because that's when people will come back and be like, my community served me, I can do the same thing and give back too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think a big impact that it can have is, I know your day to day, right? Like as a student, right? Like I think it improves so much, even just improving the facilities that you at. Like if you're at a school, right? Like if you're at a school on any part of town and you dealing with broke down buildings and AC issues and just any amount of stuff, that can be a potential distraction away from like the educational experience.
For
right?
sure.
If you cold during the wintertime because the heat isn't working, you're not thinking about learning anything. I don't want to read.
Yeah.
I'm cold. I got a jacket on and I got a jacket on in the school.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
So,
for sure.
I think just that alone, right? Like you're modernizing these facilities, you're bringing students in these new spaces where they are, well taken care of. At this point, now all they have to do is focus on whatever's going on in the classroom. They can focus on whatever lesson that they're having, whatever the teacher's talking about, whatever they're reading. Right. That could have an impact on test scores. Right. That could have an impact on how well they do their work or homework or, a bunch of different things. Right. So I'm happy that they're doing that. Yeah. Very, very happy because...
No, I agree. I think these projects will help. I mean, even when it comes down to, first thing I think about when I think about kids is food, right? Yeah. We spend too much money on groceries. All right. Right. Don't have kids. All right. No, I'm just joking. But no, for real. I think that these type of projects will even help when it comes to meal plans and preparation for meals and things like that. Like you said, if I'm not worried about the heat, the lights, books. You know what I'm saying? My computer that I have, everything's fully functioning. Yeah. The world is my oyster and right at my fingertips, and I'm ready to rock and roll. I think it opens up the mind of creativity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about this. I know we probably, parents have probably had this conversation in the Black community. Is like, you know what I'm saying? When you grow up with a little bit less than, you're focused on that less than, rather than focus on, how can I turn this dollar into 15? I mean, this 15 cents into $1, right? The creativity starts to spark, right? The aspects of learning more, acquiring more knowledge starts to spark, and I think that's the beautiful thing is when you're at that level of peace, where it can thrive, essentially. So I agree with you, bro. I agree.
Gotcha. Man, also a big thing. I know we talking about facilities, man. Yeah. But also pay them teachers, bro.
Pay them teachers, dog.
Like,
pay them. We say it every. We say it every episode.
We talk about this basically every episode, man. Pay them teachers.
2.44.
Right. 2.4 billion. Y'all can break them teachers off something, dog. Because them teachers got to deal with y'all kids. Right. Every day. Every day. I know it's about to be summertime, but during the school year is every day for hours and hours. They are outside of you. They are the adult that they see in their face a majority of the day. Right. So they shouldn't have to be paying for school supplies,
Right.
and you know, and a bunch of other stuff out of their pocket just to be able to educate and take care of your child during the day. That should come out of that bond.
Yeah.
You
No,
know what I
for
mean?
real, for
So
real.
you know, if they paid them teachers a different wage, a better wage, you know, that would improve. And then another thing, that would improve the children's educational experience. Also, on top of that, you get better teachers. Right? Because there's a financial pool. We talked about this before. Like, bro, before, like, when I had left college, I planned to be a teacher.
History teacher.
Right,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
was gonna be a teacher.
Yeah.
But once I figured out what the pay was gonna be, I was like, nah.
He's like, whoa.
Right. I got a whole history degree that I can't even, you know, apply to do anything with because they're not gonna pay me, bro.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Not what they should be paid. I'm not about to be out here struggling because you know to teach your kids. You know what I mean? So you know, I just had to throw that in there. I know I get on my rant about
deep
paying
on his
teachers.
heart right there.
Right. I get into my pay teacher bag a lot, but yeah, man, I just wanted to you know, add that piece.
Nah, I think what you're saying is very important and imperative, man. I think it's exactly what we need. It's right up our alley. You know, I think it's something that is, I mean, it's consistently talked about with us because we feel like, you know, teachers are helping, you know, this community.
Right.
Teachers are helping us mold and grow our future leaders and, you know, creatives, whether they be artists, actors, producers, you know, cameramen, you know, whatever that is, they are helping mold those individuals.
Right.
And you can't do that if your teacher is focused on how am I going to get my school supplies? Struggling.
Right.
Like, case in point, like I said, my kids are in high school right now. One of the teachers, shout out, she's a history teacher. She actually sent the link to the Amazon before the semester started and said, hey, yo, if y'all want to help, here's how.
Yeah, man.
And so that the simple fact that we got to send the Amazon link is nuts. Like we're like somebody getting married or moving into a new house.
Right. Yeah,
We send
whole
an
registry.
Right. You're
You know what I mean?
.com.
That's crazy.
That's wild, bro. So shout out to the teachers, man.
Yeah,
That's real big. That's real big. But since we're talking about teachers, so we were talking about the finalists last year, the Gerald ISD finalists.
Yeah.
But did you hear about the Pflugerville teacher?
Yeah, we got
one.
another one in the area.
We got one. So the Pflugerville teacher is a finalist in the national teacher competition. Pflugerville ISD teacher is a finalist. Paula Ray Manning. I don't think she has any relation to Peyton or Eli, but it may be. You never know, right?
Right.
Said she was nominated as America's favorite teacher, and now she's number 8 finalist. Manning is a major teacher at Riojas Elementary School.
There we go.
Where she has been teaching for over 10 years. For her, students are what makes her job fun. She's happy to be a representative of Pflugerville ISD. The winning teacher takes home $25,000, a trip to Hawaii, and appears on the Reader's Digest. So make certain that you vote America's favorite teacher. And that ends Thursday, May the 30th. Thursday, May the 30th. So make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all vote. Get this woman that $25,000 and that trip to Hawaii. Okay,
Right.
That baby need that trip to Hawaii.
Right. Like the thing is, if we gonna get anybody to get that check,
Right.
it might as well be somebody that's from nearby.
Hello, right?
You know what I mean?
You know,
Like you said, get these teachers paid. We wouldn't even be asking y'all for all this. She would have had the extra funds to take $25,000 and go to Hawaii if she wanted to.
Right.
You know what I mean? But here we are. So man, go ahead and get online at I think it's readersdigest.com.
Yeah.
Go ahead and vote for what? Miss Manning.
Miss Manning.
Shout out to Miss Manning. Go ahead and vote for her. She's been in the district for 10 years. She's been serving the students in that area, man. Go ahead and get her right. I think it's about to be summertime. I know she's probably ready for a hot girl summer. It would be amazing to go into her summer with $25,000 and a trip to Hawaii. I know she probably be turning up, man. She probably be twerking her teaching life away in Hawaii with $25,000. You know what I mean? So, man, go ahead and bless her, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get her right. I feel like these teachers deserve everything and more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, readersdigest.com. Hit that vote. You got until Thursday,
Make sure you check them.
to do that, man. So go ahead and get it right.
Tap in, tap in, tap in. Speaking of tapping in, what is going on in the city of Austin? What's coming up?
Upcoming events. Bunch of different things. I know we report to y'all, every week as far as what's happening. So there are a few recurring events that we usually always report on. A big business that we work with, that we've done work with, 2 Hour Lunch Break alum, Tater Q, right? Thursday nights, they do the karaoke. Tap in with them. I believe it is kid friendly up until 7 p.m. So if you want to bring the babies, bring them in while the sun is out. Once that sun goes down, get them kids out of there, get them home, because I know they got stuff to do the next day.
Right.
They got good wings. The wings be busting. I ain't gonna lie. When I go down there, man, I be tearing them up. So check them out every Thursday karaoke night. After, like I said, after the kid friendly part, they turn up. I don't know if y'all seen the social media. They turn up for real. Outside of Thursday, Saturday brunch. They do a brunch. Get your bottomless mimosas. They turn up a little bit. I believe who's the DJ?
Big Champ. Big Champ.
Big
Champ the God. Shout out to
DJ Big Champ. Please, if I mess your name up.
No.
Just put it on my mouth, not my heart. You know what I mean? So yeah. Check them out. Saturday brunch. They got good drinks, got good food, all your brunch stuff, all your, chicken and waffles, all that. Tap in with them on Saturdays if you're looking for something to get into. Now, Sundays, right? They have their Sunday fun day every single Sunday. They turn up for real on Sundays, right? They got the music, they got the food, they got the vibes. It's always a good time. Yeah. They be twerking on tables sometimes. If you're on the hunt, I know you might try to find you. If you live out north, you want to find your little Pflugerville baddie.
Said they might be
there. Same thing. If you're a woman, you want to find, something tall, dark, and handsome out that way.
You never know.
Tap in with Tater Q on a Sunday. You might see they might be fresh out of church. You want you a godly man.
Yeah, amen.
Something like that.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Tap in. You might find you a pastor. Yeah, a future pastor. You might find you Brother Dixon or something like that. I don't know. But either way, tap in. They got a little bit of everybody. That's where they be. Right. If you're looking for something, you can find it over there. You know what I mean? So outside of that, man, any other events that you know about?
Yeah, man. Also, shout out to Down South Cajun Eats, the twins, Jamal and Jermaine, the alums of the show. Every Wednesday, they have a seafood broil. Every Wednesdays at Down South Cajun Eats. That is near the Tinseltown location in Pflugerville area. If you are a native to Pflugerville, it was the old Kung Fu Buffet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And also the Avenue as well. So that is their location. Make sure you guys tap in. They have amazing events, amazing parties, amazing turn up. They have an indoor and outdoor patio area plus a private VIP area as well. They just know how to have a good time. So make certain you guys tap in if you want something to do or want something to hang out. But most importantly, if there are any other events that you know of, that you've heard of, or you are trying to promote an event, hit the 2 Hour Lunch Break in the DMs, man. Let us know on IG. And let us tap in with us. We are more than happy to promote. Go.
Now that we mentioned it, we got the homies. Do Not Disturb.
Yes, sir.
They always got something every weekend.
Every weekend, man.
Hey, if you're looking for baddies,
tap. Tap.
That's where they at.
Tap.
I don't know what your bag is. You like he, you like she, you like they, them.
Hey, get it.
That's what they is at.
Yeah, right. They all there.
You know what I'm saying?
They all
so,
there.
man, yeah, pull up on Do Not Disturb. Yeah. I think their Instagram is Do Not Disturb Collective.
Yes.
They always got events broadcasting on their page. They're doing something basically Thursday through Saturday, through Sunday. They always got something going on. Good people. They've been on the show. Tap in with them as well. Just thought I should mention that.
Yeah. No, I think that's important. Alum of the show.
Right.
Alum of the show.
Right.
All right, man. And that wraps up another edition of the 1 Hour News Break. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate your support, and thank you for hanging out with us.
Big shout out to our amazing production behind the boards. You can find him at Cafe Yodo. Also, salute to our home studio, DAWA Studios in East Austin, Texas.
Yeah, and as you already know, you can find us on all streaming platforms. Again, that is all DSPs. Don't forget to follow us on IG at the 2HLB Pod and on X at the 2 Hour Lunch to stay tuned in the loop with all the things 2 Hour Lunch Break. We've had a lot more in store for y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. We'll check y'all next time, all right? Peace.
We out every Tuesday.
And we back. Zeus P, Frank Jew. Let the light in. Man, it's the 2 Hour Lunch Break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jew, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2 Hour Lunch Break live from Lady Bird J.